That is 2 days in a row that my live stream has been interrupted by technical difficulties, and that concerns me. Sorry if anybody was in the live stream just now, but I just got cut out, and I'm worried that people will see this live stream and none of the other ones. So this is part 2 of a live stream that started on Thursday morning at 7:35, and then it got cut out. Apparently I lost my connection to the network, and I'm not entirely sure if there's anything I can do about that, but it's never happened before. And I am live outside, which means I'm on my iPhone to go live, and so I lost my connection to that, and so I've started the live stream up again. Obviously, I mean, you don't just stop your live stream because you got cut off from the internet mid-sentence, so I'll keep going with that, but it kind of worries me. I hope that's not a thing that we'll experience. It hadn't experienced it in the previous 5 days, so but I do say at the start of all of these live streams that I only do these live videos about the coronavirus because YouTube made it very clear that we will not be monetized. Content creators will not be monetized for this kind of content, and I appreciate that. So I started making these live streams about what life is like here in Tokyo, Japan, on the ground, in the reality of what the situation is, rather than all the hype and the propaganda and the media coverage and all that kind of stuff. So I say at the start of every single one of my videos that kind of gave me the encouragement to go out there and shoot live from Tokyo, Japan. And again, I'm kind of worried that people would find this live and not have seen any of the other ones, so you wouldn't realize that yes, we are right in the middle of Tokyo, Japan. There's Tokyo Sky Tree there, and we do this live from the park, because then you get an idea of what people are doing in their daily lives. There's a chap right there on his bicycle, for example, and they're not. People aren't huddled at home, and they aren't shying away from society, and you're feared and scared of what's going to be going on and stuff like that. So apologies for the live stream getting cut. That's kind of frustrating for me. It said I'd lost my connection to the... I am back, Mo. I'd lost my connection to the internet is what it said. But I don't know what that means. I don't know if it means there was a problem with my phone or a problem with the Wi-Fi. Well, it's not Wi-Fi because I'm outside, but maybe I should get myself a pocket Wi-Fi or something like that to boost the signal. And yesterday as well I got cut off, but that was my own fault in a way. It was my phone's battery ran out, and it was kind of frustrating for me that the phone's battery ran out because there was no warning on the screen. Usually there's a warning like 20%, 10%, 5%, your battery's running out, but there was no warning. The screen just went black, and it cut my live stream. I couldn't do anything about it. But today it seems like the issue was not with my phone. It seems like the issue was more with people out there, like the internet or connectivity to SoftBank or something like that. So apologies to the people who were in the live stream before. Hopefully you guys have jumped over and come back, because I've gotten back online maybe 2 or 3 minutes later. It's just frustrating. So and you don't want it to happen when you're in the middle of a live stream, but these things happen. So you remember this yesterday? Yesterday when we were talking about it, there was one person having a good look at this tree here. Let me see. There we go. There, get them in shot. But now those people have grown in numbers, and there are more and more people joining them in the park. They're yakking away, but I don't want to put them in shot too clean, because people are a bit precious about having their image online, especially here in Japan. People are not so trusting of the internet and things like that, so they don't like their image to be used without their permission. So I try not to put people's faces in the live stream or zoom in on them and stuff like that. So but yeah, so here we are in Japan. I was just talking about how in the previous video when I was cut off, I was talking about how the situation here in Japan, China, Taiwan and South Korea is a little bit different, because people, generally speaking, they do listen to advice from the authorities and from the government, for example, or from organizations who they trust and they assume have our best interests at heart, and therefore as a society, as a group, as a herd, whatever you want to call it, people out here are generally speaking pretty good at doing what they need to do or what they've been asked to do. But the situation in Italy concerns me right now, because there's a lot of people, there's been a real spike in the numbers over there. And I wonder if Europe and America will struggle to deal with the situation that's required, because people, generally speaking, value their kind of independence, not their group element, but their independence. So when the government or an organization tells them to do something, some people are like, hey, I'm an independent soul. I don't need you to tell me what to do. And in the case like this, that's going to make it harder to control this kind of situation. So trying to make sure that enough people are kind of doing the right thing. And even here in Japan, we did see that over the last 24 or 48 hours. It seems to have been a situation down in Osaka, Japan's second city, where somebody who had the virus, or some people who had the virus, went to a live concert in a small club. And that seems to have been the start point for quite a number of people. I think maybe 15 people getting infected. So that's what they're scared about. That's what their concern is. They're worried about these groups of people who will cause this virus to spread to a wider group of people, and then you'll have a knock-on effect. And one of the things I wanted to put in today's video is it's a bit of a strange metaphor, but it works for me, and I don't know if it will work for you out there. But the metaphor that I wanted to go for today was it's called critical mass, and it's I don't know if it comes anywhere else in society, but I do know that it comes into nuclear power and nuclear fusion, I think it's fusion, which is basically splitting the atom. And what happens with nuclear power and also nuclear bombs, this is the same science, is that there's an atom gets split, and when one atom gets split, it fires off 3 electrons, okay? When one atom gets split, it fires off 3 electrons. Now, if those 3 electrons find another atom to split, then those 3 atoms split and fire off 3 more electrons each. So now you've got 9 electrons flying around. Now, if those 9 electrons find another atom, so that's 9 electrons, 9 atoms, and those 9 atoms split, then you've got 27 electrons flying around. And if those 27 electrons find an atom to split, they will set off another 3 electrons, and that's 81, I think, 81 electrons flying around. And if you can get to a point where enough electrons find enough atoms on a continual basis, then you'll have what's called critical mass, and it will self-sustain itself, and and that's called critical mass, having atoms or enough of that material to then have this knock-on effect where enough electrons are finding atoms. Oh, are we back? Oh man, that'd be cool if we're back. Mo, are we back? Oh, I think we're back because the clock's ticking over. Oh man, the last time the clock didn't tick over. Oh no, is this going to be a thing? Is this going to be an issue that I'm going to have to fight with? And it's going to be like this every morning now. And I wonder why it is like this. Hasn't been like this in the previous days. So, I mean, the clock's ticking over to say that we are still live. But there was a circle in the middle of the screen, and one of the guys in the chat said that there was lag. So you know what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to sign off for this morning. This is the second time I've been out, or the second live I've done, and I wasn't able to finish yesterday's live properly because my battery went dead, and I've already been cut off from the internet once today. And what I'll do is I'll try and find out if there are ways that I can boost my signal and avoid being cut off from the internet tomorrow, and also maybe boost my battery. So, but we'll see if we can get that done. But I'm going to sign off for today, guys. But that thing I was saying about the critical mass, if you think about that in terms of, people who have the infection, and you're trying to reduce the number of people that they are in contact with, so that then this thing doesn't just become sort of self-sustaining, that the people who are infected infect people, and then those people infect people, and so on and so forth. So, but I'm going to cut this guy off right here because I hate it when I get cut off mid-sentence going live. It really, really bugs me. It's one of my least favorite things. So I am here in Tokyo, Japan, trying to give you guys that live perspective. I'm sorry the lives today were not what they usually are. I usually like to go live for about 30 minutes and have a good chat and get enough people in the chat to talk this up and hear what the perspective is about this out there in the rest of the world. But that didn't happen today, unfortunately. I will sign off. There we are at Sky Tree, Tokyo, Japan, very central, getting you a real perspective of what's going on here. And I will be back again tomorrow around about 7:30 Japan time to give you that real perspective on what's happening with the coronavirus here in Tokyo, Japan. But for today, I'm going to sign off. Thank you guys for checking out my content. But as I do this every single day, that means that you will see me